Liberalism is very often confused with three other ideologies. To be precise, with two ideologies and one attitude, social attitude. Liberalism is confused with anarchism and the anarchy and anarchism, with permissivism and which is attitude, which is not really ideology, and pacifism. Well, starting from anarchism. Anarchy is the state of chaos in which the most able, strong and robust people would find much freedom, and relatively smaller and weaker persons would be deprived of most of the liberties. And considering the fact that every strong person is able to find a stronger person in his life and on his path, anarchy is really no liberty for no one. So liberalism and liberal order can mean relatively great number of, not very great number, but sometimes as a considerable number of rules you are forced to obey. But those rules should be well known, and every person should be aware of their existence and of the consequences of not obeying them. That's liberalism. Liberalism is the rule of the law, and the law treats everybody equal. That's the theory, and that's the principia. These are the principia of liberalism. So this is totally different thing, as you may see. Permissivism is also it's not an ideology, but it's an attitude, social attitude. For instance, when the Dutch politicians, the Dutch police is treating the Muslim criminals, Muslim offenders who are living in Muslim communities in the Netherlands. They are behaving according to the attitude of permissivism. They are not really liberal. They are not liberal, because liberalism would, the liberal would advise to make the rules of living in the Netherlands public and well known to all the Muslim immigrants, and then in case of some in case of some criminal act, they should be treated equally, according to the rule of the equality before the law. Because race and ethnicity shouldn't be more important, or any cultural differences shouldn't be more important than the rule of the law and equality before the law. And also pacifism. Pacifism is not so much compatible with liberalism. Of course, the liberals usually tend to avoid great military conflicts because of the human rights, and it's certain that the human rights would be affected by any war. So war is very often the last resort for the liberals. But it doesn't mean that the liberals sometimes they are leading wars against the liberals, like Roosevelt. He was leading a war against Nazi Germany, of course. So against authoritarian Japan. So we can see that the liberals are also not so pacifist, not so pacifistic. Pacifism is the ideology that started, well, it was under Christian genre of pacifism, and also this secular version of pacifism started in early 20th century. Really, it's connected to George Bernard Shaw and names like this, and it's not really liberalism. It's more, it has to do with the internationalization of the people's ideology, of the socialist ideology, but it's also not so simple as that. We can perceive many socialists who aren't anarchists, aren't pacifism, and the other way around. But liberals are not dogmatic pacifism or anything like that.